Hey, and welcome back to my channel. This is Belinda. I have a journal I'd like to share with you, one that I just finished this afternoon, and I call this one A Life Collected. I wanted a very simple cover, something feminine, but yet older looking. This is, I'm trying to find a good view in the light. It is a faux suede material, and it is absolutely lovely, I think. But this is another one of those journals made in the design of the carpetbaggers. I did put some little things up here. I didn't put any loose ribbons on the spine this time, and it's a little more grungy inside, like one of my journals, I think. I hope you like it. I spent a lot of time working on it, but I'll flip through this one for you. It's got a double seam binding closure, and I have a bobo on my finger, so please forgive the band-aid. But on the inside pocket, this is a book page cover with some burlap trim at the top. And this looks like an old Pennsylvania Lines passenger service booklet, but when you open it up, it's actually another little journal for writing, and that's tucked right in there for you. And on this page, you can see the flower and the old fabric. And these fabrics are an old quilt. These are remnants from an old quilt that I ripped up and put in here. They were not going to be used for anything else. I didn't sacrifice a lovely old quilt or anything, but the pieces of the fabric are beautiful, but that's exactly what it was in pieces. This page is shorter and trimmed in lace. And for some of these pages, I used my More Beautiful Base Pages kit on Etsy, and this is a little birdie that I stitched on some fabric, and I just I've got it paper clipped down there so the tail doesn't flip up, but you can see I just stitched it on. This was the back side of some old quilting fabric that I did some free motion sewing, I guess you'd call it. Not really stitching, free motion sewing. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm tired, I'm sorry. Down here is a fabric pocket, and that's a library card. It used to be like in the card catalog, and I got those from a shop on Etsy. A Tattered Drain, I think is the name of it. Yay, I did good. I think I remembered it. All right, this is like some velvet ribbon that's been stained up. And here I did some more free motion sewing. Oops, wrong way. And it says Faith. You can see it there. And this is a little glassine envelope that I got from a Tattered Drain. And there's a photo tucked behind there of a lady in a vintage automobile. And inside the little envelope are some little tickets. Of course, you could put some other things in there, but I just wanted to put something in there so you would see it. And on this side, it's an envelope with some more fabric scraps and a button with another pretty vintage photograph there. Of course, these are all journaling cards. You can write on the back. I think you've watched my other videos. You know I love the vintage photos for journaling cards. And there's some sewing on the edge of that coffee-stained page and a postcard there. And this is another one of my design papers with some quilting fabric and a flower and some old fabric sewn on the edge there. Coffee stain and stamped paper with old fabric and lace trim. A vintage photograph of a little baby on this page, just tucked under. All the paper clips are rusted. That's another design page there with a velvet ribbon and some crochet lace sewn onto there. Another little fabric scrap there with a flower, velvet ribbon. And there's another photograph. I loved that one, especially since it's summertime. I love all the old vintage bathing suit photographs. And this page says Hope down here that I just free motion sewed on. And there's some fabric and crochet lace. And there's some old quilting fabrics with a flower there, with some old scrap fabric sewn onto the edge, design paper, and vintage photograph there, and more old fabric sewn on the edge, crocheted lace there on that page. And this old quilting fabric with a flower in the front of it with some crocheted lace over here. And this was an old photograph. I love that. Two men in a wagon with a horsey pulling them there. Stitching on the side. All these pages have at least some kind of stitching or fabric edge. And in here, I did another one of those time books for you. This one is the Workman's time book, and that's the front and back. On the inside cover this time, I put a little fabric there to do some reinforcing. But there's a table of wages by the day. And if I'm looking at this correctly, it says it's based on a 10-hour day. So I think, like for a 10-hour day, they were paid like $2, I think. I think I'm looking at that right. If they were making $2.37 an hour. But if you were just starting out at 25 cents, you know, you didn't do so great that day. But that can't be right. I think that may be with taxes held out. Or did they pay taxes back then? I don't know. But you can look at this table if you get this. There's another one right there based on the dollar there paid. And then inside on the center, this one is from 1895. And there's that for you. And you can see the writing where they kept up with, you know, for this week somebody made $16. Somebody made $23. They were getting wealthy there, weren't they? And it's got some, like, different papers. The school paper, coffee stain papers, just for you to write different things. And both of these, this is the center, one of my pages from my More Beautiful Base Pages set. It coordinates with, but it's not identical to the base pages. So More Beautiful Base Pages, it just, you know, you could make a thick book or a coordinating journal. There's some fabric and a flower there. And this is a photocopy of the inside of a book, a ladies' magazine. I'll show that to you in a little bit, but it's for June of 1937, and it tells the weather. It was an almanac, a ladies' almanac is what it was. And of course you can write and journal on the back. I just coffee stained, kind of grunged that up for you. And that just tucks right there. More lace and fabric. And here's the front cover, a photocopy of the front cover of the book that page came out of. It was the 1937 Ladies' Birthday Almanac. That's what it was. Love that. You know I do. I love all those old books and almanacs and things. And we have more fabric scraps. And sewing with fabric trims. This is a picture of a soldier that I stuck in here for you. And because it was a soldier, I used the war ration, a photocopy of the war ration coupons, and made 2 tags that fit in this little coffee stain paper pocket that's trimmed in lace with fabric and a flower. And there's more of that velvet, and there's some little cheesecloth pieces throughout. There's some more of that velvet ribbon there and sewing. And this little picture is actually dated at the bottom. It says May 10th, 1947. But it's of a family at, looks like maybe a lake house at the lake or something. Very pretty. And more fabrics and crocheted laces. And that's an old quilt piece with a flower there. Up there with sewing on the edge. Another envelope. Inside of this one is a photograph of 2 buddies, it looks like. I'll just tuck that in there for you. And I didn't put anything on the back of this one, but you can certainly journal there or put something back there if you want to. And there's an old vintage family photograph there. It's just clipped under, sewing on the edge of the page. I think I missed, let me back up. I'm not doing very good at this tonight, am I? Love. There it is. Where I free-formed. I wanted to do faith, hope, and love. So I got that in there. When I saw these flowers stitched over here, it made me think about it with the little line of flowers at the bottom. This is a garment tag that I got from a Tattered Dream, and I coffee stained it up. A little fabric pocket that it just slides in. This page has fabric trim and the little 3/4 side page there to end it up, and another pocket on the back like on the front with a vintage button. And in this pocket is a postcard, and I loved this old photograph. It's like an old carnival or fair prop there. It makes him look like he's flying around. Love that. And then this is another one of those glycine envelopes from a Tattered Dream. And inside of it, it has a land tax deed from here in Mississippi from 1902, where someone had, and it gives gives the measurements of their land. But anyway, they paid $2.03 land tax. I don't know what your land tax is now, but mine is substantially more than $2.03. That's amazing to me. But of course, then that was, you know, like paying $200 or $300 now, I suppose. Works out about the same. Clip that in there for you, and it tucks away. And then I'll flip on over to the back, and there's that really pretty faux suede fabric. It's got some string on it there. But one thing I didn't tell you on the front, I did some crocheted lace across the front, and then also added another piece of lace on top of it. They're two-tone. This is a cream, this is a white, and then this button is an old vintage button off of a heavy coat, and I think it was from the 1940s. So there you go. That's it. This is my book called Life Collected, and I'm not going to put it on Etsy tonight because it takes me so long to put things on Etsy, and I have to go to work in the morning, and I'll be working the next couple of days, and I'm trying to get some things made and posted. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to leave a link to my Facebook page like I used to, and if you want this book, it will be listed on Facebook. Comment under there, or you can send me an email at wbc39601@gmail.com. But the easiest way is just to comment right there under the picture of the book, the listing of the book on my Facebook page, and that's Willow, Birch, and Clover is the Facebook page. Or you can just private message me on Facebook. But anyway, it's going to be on Facebook. I hope you enjoyed this journal flip through. Let me know what you think. And I'm sorry I'm so sleepy and tired, and I promise next time I'll try to be more awake. But thanks a lot, and have a good night. Bye-bye.